The Spook's Battle by Joseph Delaney. Read by Thomas Judd. Chapter 1. A Visitor from Pendle. The witch was chasing me through the dark wood, getting nearer and nearer by the second. I ran fast, frantic to escape, weaving desperately, with branches whipping into my face and brambles clutching at my weary legs. The breath rasped harshly in my throat as I drove myself harder and harder towards the edge of the wood. Beyond that lay the slope leading up to the Spook's western garden. If only I could reach that refuge, I'd be safe. I wasn't defenceless. In my right hand I gripped my rowan staff, which was particularly effective against witches. In my left was the silver chain, coiled about my wrist, ready for throwing. But would I get even half a chance to use either? For the chain I needed a gap between us, but already the witch was close at my heels. Suddenly, the footsteps behind me ceased. Had she given up? I ran on, the waning moon now visible through the leafy canopy above, silver dappling the ground at my feet. The trees were thinning, had almost reached the edge of the wood. Then, just as I passed the last tree, she appeared from nowhere and ran at me from the left, her teeth gleaming in the moonlight, her arms outstretched as if ready to claw out my eyes. Still running, veering away, I flicked my left wrist and cracked the chain to send it hurtling towards her. For a moment I thought I had her, but she swerved suddenly and the chain fell harmlessly onto the grass. The next moment she thudded into me, knocking the staff from my hand. I hit the ground so hard that all the breath was driven from my body, and in an instant she was on me, her weight bearing down on me. I struggled for a moment, but I was winded and exhausted, and she was very strong. She sat on my chest and pinned my arms down on either side of my head. Then she leaned forward so that our faces were almost touching, and her hair was like a black shroud touching my cheeks and blotting out the stars. Her breath was on my face, but it wasn't rank like that of a blood or bone witch. It was sweet, like spring flowers. "Got you now, Tom, I have," Alice exclaimed triumphantly. "Ain't good enough, that. You'll need to do better in Pendle." With that, she gave a laugh and rolled off me, and I sat up, still fighting for breath. After a few moments I found the strength to walk across and collect my staff and silver chain. Although she was the niece of a witch, Alice was my friend, and had saved me more than once during the past year. Tonight I'd been practicing my survival skills, Alice playing the part of a witch seeking my life. I should have been grateful, but I felt annoyed. It was the third night in a row that she'd got the better of me. As I started to walk up the slope towards the Spook's western garden, Alice ran to my side and matched me step for step. "No need to sulk, Tom," she said softly. "It's a nice mild summer's night. Let's make the best of it while we can. Be on our travels soon, we will, and we'll both be wishing we were back here." Alice was right. I'd be 14 at the beginning of August, and I'd been the Spook's apprentice for over a year now. Although we'd faced many serious dangers together, something even worse was looming. For some time the Spook had been hearing reports that the threat from the Pendle witches was growing. He'd told me that we'd soon be travelling there to try and deal with it. But there were dozens of witches, and maybe hundreds of their supporters, and I couldn't see how we could triumph against such odds. After all, there were only 3 of us. The Spook, Alice, and me. "I'm not sulking," I said. "Yes, you are. Your chin's almost touching the grass." We walked on in silence until we entered the garden and saw the Spook's house through the trees. "Ain't said anything yet about when we're off to Pendle, has he?" Alice asked. "Not a thing." "Haven't you asked?" "Don't find nothing out without asking." "Course I've asked him," I told Alice. "He just taps the side of his nose and tells me that I'll find out in good time. My guess is that he's waiting for something, but I don't know what." "Well, I just wish he'd get on with it. The waiting's making me nervous." "Really?" I said. "I'm in no rush to leave, and I didn't think you'd want to go back there." "I don't. It's a bad place, Pendle, and it's a big place too. A whole district with villages and hamlets and big, ugly Pendle Hill right at its centre. I've got a lot of evil family there I'd sooner forget about. But if we've got to go, I'd like to get it over and done with. I can hardly sleep at night now worrying about it."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?